All right, page 3, number 3. Another word problem. It says Mr. Rowley has 16 homework papers and 14 exit tickets to return. Ms. Rivera has 64 homework papers and 60 exit tickets to return. For each teacher, write a ratio to represent the number of homework papers to the number of exit tickets they have to return. Are the ratios equivalent, and explain. So following my word problem breakdown, I would first look for a question. I see a question mark. But not only that, I also have another job to do, and that's I need to explain. I'm looking for my numbers. I see 16 and 14, 64 and 60, and I'm just checking to make sure there aren't any tricky numbers that are written as words. Oh, I also see another question in here. It says, for each teacher, write a ratio. Write a ratio to represent the number of homework papers to the number of exit tickets. So that's like a job we have to do. So we have like 3 things to do. Clue words. Let's see, the 16 is referring to the homework papers. And 14 is referring to the exit tickets. And then Ms. Rivera, 64 homework papers, 60 exit tickets. Now I know what each of those numbers is referring to. Oh, let's see, what else do we have? Oh, we have to write a ratio. And it's the number of homework papers to the number of exit tickets. So I know it's homework papers to tickets. All right, a little reminder about that. It's the homework to the tickets. All right, I think we've got everything. You might have some other words that you think are important. Maybe the people's names, so we know who we're talking about. All right, so I have to start by writing a ratio for the homework papers to the tickets. So for each teacher, Mr. R, and then I have Ms. R. So for the homework papers to the tickets, so Mr. R is 16 to 14, and Ms. R was 64 to 60. And I again chose to write them as fractions because I think when I'm looking to see if they're equivalent, this makes a little more sense to me. So when I'm looking at these, I'm not quite sure exactly. They don't look the same, so I can think of activities that we were doing up here, looking at whether things are equivalent or not. And the first thing that kind of comes to my mind is I could simplify. So I'm going to divide these both by 2, and that gives me 8 to 7. And then if I come over here and I simplify this one, let's see, they both are divisible by 2, so I'll use that first. That gives me 32 to 30. Well, that's not simplified all the way. I could still divide by 2. I probably could have divided by a bigger number. 16 to 15. Well, I'm looking here and I've got 8 to 7, and that's simplified. And I've got 16 to 15, and that's simplified. If I'm comparing those two things, they don't look the same. So if it says, are the ratios equivalent, I would have to say, no, the ratios are not equivalent. Because when simplified, here's my hand in the way, I'm sorry. When simplified, 8 to 7 does not equal, and I'm going to use the equal sign with a line through it, 16 to 15. And that's the end of that one.